Hello, everybody. Today we're going to read the Maggie Saga, The Rise of Maggie's Spletzer by SMGMorgan. The story of a former Inkling girl turned human is about to make destiny in her little world. Chapter 1, Maggie's Apartment. The door to Maggie's apartment swung open with a soft squeak. Maggie stood there in the doorway to her apartment, dry and exhausted from her rough day at work. Her hair was slightly messy and her posture was a bit flat in her confidence as she walked into her apartment and closed the door shut behind her. She took in the scent of the apartment, nuts of wax, scented cinnamon, and dark oak wax. A soothing smell to her nose and relaxing to her mind as she had a headache. Maggie walked across her carpet floor to her bedroom with a sense of tiredness. As she passed by the small kitchen counter, she set her bag and took off her coat and hung it. Suddenly Maggie was greeted by the sounds of happy meows and purring as her two adorable cats came trotting out of the living room toward her, and Maggie knew what they were wanting. And Maggie loved her two pet cats, Lily and Willow, who were both fuzzy, cute, and very affectionate for her as their owner. Willow, a boy, was a great older cat that has been with Meggy for a few years now, and was a cat with a personality to be lazy and sleep like a plant in the sunlight, but was always clingy to Meggy. No matter where Meggy was in the apartment, Willow would be next to her, sunbathing the window, happy and purring with satisfaction. Lily, a girl, was a weight and jugger cat that was found on Meggy's front door, wet and cold, and has lived with Maggie ever since. Lily liked to be more curious and adventurous, unlike her older furry cat, relative Willow. Maggie sighed as she flopped on her orange bed covers. Her two cats jumped up on the bed and snuggled up next to her, purring and licking her hands like a sign of, "We miss you." Maggie took a moment to think about her day as she snuggles her purring cats, admiring her bedroom shelf that was mounted in front of her on the wall. Her years of trophies and medals, with years of championships that had her name in gold on each one with her name, Meggy Spletzer, in cursive or simple print, with the day of year of that win. Maggie was interrupted by Liddy, nudging her shoulders, who was meowing with want, while Willow was fine with Maggie, not focusing on him, as he was just happy enough to have his owner by his side again. Maggie lay on her side, still in her work clothes, on her bed, and nuzzled into her cat, holding them closer and sighing as she let the tiredness takes her. Chapter 2, The Phone Call. Maggie awoke to the sound of her phone ringing and buzzing on her nightstand next to her bed. She was slowly waking up from her late afternoon nap with her cat snuggled up beside her, her eyes still closed and sleeping. Maggie reached over and looked at the cellar, and sure enough, it was good old SMG4 calling with his signature blue and white hat as his photo. Maggie was her good friend SMG4. He has gone through some traumatic adventures with Maggie together. There is the most traumatic one. It's gotta be perfect. It's been almost 5 years since that day. Maggie shivers slightly at the memory of the dark, creepy goop everywhere, and the demonic chanting from SMG4 shouting, "It's gotta be perfect. It's gotta be perfect. It's gotta be perfect." But SMG4 had got it better, and they saved him, and sadly, at the cost of seeking their own castle in order to prevent the demonic goop from spreading throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. Meggy gently sat up in her bed, trying not to awaken her sleeping cats next to her. She answers the phone, unusual, cheerful, and characteristic. "Hey, Four, what's up? This is your Four from the Meggy. I need you to come to the showrooms and how in Target with something that we discovered in an old box." Meggy's curiosity was immediately piqued, and she grips her phone tighter in excitement about some mysterious item. "Oh, I'm on my way right now," Meggy said as she quickly put on her brown leather boots and said to SNG4 still on the phone, "I'm coming. Just don't let Mario near it, or it's going to be, well, something will happen if Mario touches." Meggy hung up and quickly grabbing her beanie and goggles and puts them on and quickly checks herself in her mirror, then walks out the apartment and to her car. Chapter 3: The Castle. As Maggie was driving along the road, she was wondering what this item was that caught the crew's attention and why. As she was driving her orange car, Maggie felt her stomach and winced a bit and knew it was just her mouth on, and she hated it. She hated having this happen to her body. She turned on her car radio to distract herself from the feeling she was having in her body. She liked the music and the artist, but something was just spinning off like a feeling in the air of what was about to happen when she meet with the crew at the showgrounds. When Maggie pulled into the showgrounds driveway, she saw the familiar blue and white and glittering SCG-4 castle. Maggie pulled up and parked and got out and grabbed her stuff and headed toward the entrance. As she pushed the doorbell, she heard footsteps and the door opened to reveal SMG4 in his blue and white hat and overalls, holding the door and saying, "Hey, glad you make it. Tori and Mario are here too." Though Mario is, huffing his lunch and yelling, "Yahoo!" Maggie and SMG4 both cringed at the thought. Maggie knew how uneducated Mario was in manners and common sense, but Maggie stepped inside the castle and she heard the familiar voice that made her heart skip a beat. "Sorry, hey Maggie, how is it?" Tori said softly as she walked down the spiral steps gracefully and with elegance while holding the railing as she descended the steps and walked towards them. Maggie had to keep her emotions in hard check so as not to stare at her, admire her from, and damn, her sexy curve. Mm. But Maggie keeps her thoughts in check and her body as she should in a group. "Hey Tori, it's been a minute. Sorry I have not kept up with the crew lately. I have been busy with work and my cats. Maggie and Tori in Senior 4 all started to head to Senior 4 office to talk privately about the recent discovery in the castle basement. Once inside, and behind closed doors, SMG4 stepped forward with a serious expression and looked directly at Meggy and Tari. "Girls, we have a serious situation in our hands." Chapter 4: The Portal. Meggy stood in the office with SMG4 and Tari around his table in a dark room, with the only light source coming from a lamp on his desk. What do you mean, serious situation?" SMG4 gave Meggy and Tori a look and said, "I mean, that something appeared in the castle basement like a glowing, ominous portal of some sort." Tori cuts in, "Yeah, we investigated, and it seems to absorb anything we throw at it, like Mars spaghetti, and I threw some rockets at it." Meggy sat in her seat, puzzled and curious about this portal in the basement. She played with her orange hair as she wondered about this new development of Discovery. I think it will be better if we show you what we're looking at, SMG4 said in a calm manner to Meggy. Meggy looks at SMG4 and Tori. Damn, Tori, what do you have to look so cute and attractive with this lady? Meggy thinks. Then Meggy nods to SMG4. Show me. Meggy says. SMG4 and Tori both get up from the table and start walking toward the trap door in the living room where Bob and Seiko Bichitaru are arguing about who gets the TV remote. Seiko in the back room. No, you dumb brown sack of shit. I get the remote because you have been watching way too much of your ghost. You know what? You don't think of calling it your comfort show. Barbara's used were arguing back with her, trying to grab the remote from her hands. It's not gross. It's good anime. It got big boobs. And your loud rock music is deafening my ears. Maggie rolled her eyes and kept walking on as Tori is clearly not trying to intervene and stop just before Watch by 2025 happens before their eyes. SMG4 yells at them, both of you stop this at once, or I'm going to make you help Marvel clean up the mess of spaghetti on my office wall from last fight. Bob and Seiko both grumbled and mumbled, yes sir. And they both decided to watch an anime show about a female rock band in anime. Tori sighs in relief and turns back to Maggie and says, that could have gotten bad if SMG4 didn't intervene. Meggy nods and follows SMG4 to the basement trapdoor in the storage room in the back of the castle. Once the three opened the hatch and climbed down into the basement, Maggie was awestruck by a swirling portal of blue that was like wall of glass and water perfectly, moving together in a beautiful way of harmony. Maggie was in shock, so hypnotized and colorful. Maggie was Maggie watched as Tori stepped forward towards it and says, it's like it was put here, but we don't know why or who did. Virginia 4 picks up a stone and throws it at the portal. The stone flying into it and disappearing with the soft sound of water and magic together. The surface splashing a bit, but not breaking. Maggie felt a small pull toward the portal, like it called it to her, beckoning her to touch it. Maggie took a small step forward toward the portal and felt her name, Meggy Spletzer, that name calling to her, wanting her to enter the portal. SMG4 and Tori watched as Meggy reached out and all went black as the night. Chapter 5, final chapter. Into, into the Meggyverse. Light swirls, bright colors, she was falling, moving in a whirl of burning color and slam. She hit something hard and cold, and she blacked out. She felt her body in pain, hurting and bruised. She winced in pain in her back as she tried to move but failed and cried out in pain and collapsed back to the dark, hard stone floor. She looked around at what appears to be a sort of temple or a sacred place of some sort. Maggie was confused and saw a raised platform in the center with multiple portals around it, about 10 feet from the middle platform. Maggie slowly started getting up, and she shivered as it was deep underground and cold. Her breath was visible in the dim, cold room. As Maggie limped toward the center, she heard a faint voice saying to her in a whisper, the chosen one has come. She will bring peace to the realms. Maggie was confused at these comments about herself. She looked around to find the invisible voice talking to her, but she could not find who or where they were coming from. Maggie walked up the steps to the table before her, a dark orb floating in the ominous, dim lighting of her surroundings. Maggie looked closely and saw herself multiple versions of herself from different places, different types of herself, different alternatives of herself. She could see multiple universes of how things could have been, how she would have been if things didn't happen in the way it did in her world. Meggy looked at a glowing portal next to the orb that was glowing and pulsing with light and magic. She stepped closer and walked through. You reached the end of published part. Thank you so much for watching and hope you have a good day, guys. Bye bye.